So this is a super quick video, and I want to talk a little bit about improvisation, and I am going to be using the guitar to support this creative process. And I just want to unpick a little bit some techniques, some approaches, some route ways into beginning to create, say, lyrics and music simultaneously. And I hope that in the process of sharing this with you, I can demystify some of the mystique around improvisation, and show you some tools that you can use to explore and hopefully create something for yourself. So if you don't have an instrument to hand, that needn't hinder you. You can still come to this in the same way, although the dialogue and the relationship that you have with your instrument can be something that either triggers or inspires, say, the tonality, the quality, the feel of the song that you're trying to create, or it can be purely something that supports what you're doing with voice. So I'm currently tuned to Dadgad. And I'm not going to use a capo or anything like that. I am literally going to be minimizing the amount of travel that I do along the fretboard, and also just keeping it nice and simple. So for those of you who are not chord proficient, and my chord proficiency is limited anyway, but just to make it more accessible and to demonstrate that you don't need to be a guitar player, say, to write a song or compose on the guitar, or any other instrument for that matter, as long as you can make some sound with it and spark the beginnings of a song. So let's just find somewhere on the instrument that we feel comfortable with the sound. So I literally just have one finger, and I'm just running through all the strings. I'm gonna move 2 steps further up. Let's go back to that first note. So I'm literally just running my hands across the strings. I'm just trying to get a feel for the instrument and trying to kind of hear into the overtones and pick out some notes that feel like they might be comfortable to explore and expand in my vocal range. Let's continue moving up the strings here just to see what that different sound is like. Okay, I'm gonna stick with this note here. Okay. So I could use that almost as a bass note there. Quite like that sound. Top. So I'm literally I'm noodling, I'm playing around with different sounds, and I've started to introduce more fingers, cover more of the strings. So I'm just literally looking for something that suits my ear, that feels nice, and something that I can create into a repetitive pattern as something that will underpin. So I'm just plucking these together, top two and second, and I'm shifting, literally shifting. I'm using the guideline of the markers here and shifting 1, 2. So that's a kind of chord feel to it, and that's a straight rhythm, not particularly syncopated, but I could syncopate it if I wanted to. So I'm just sliding back and forth between the two. So let's move to a different part of the guitar, and you can stick to one note if you like, or you can keep it on open strings, apart from you might want to play around with your bass note. So that becomes a pattern in itself, and because it's kind of free form, I'm not pinning myself to a particular tempo right now. It means that I can begin to introduce the voice over the top of that in an explorative way. And usually, if I'm kind of struggling to pick a note, then I would double up or sing the same note as one of the ones that I'm playing. So you can do that really easily, just tuning in. I might want to mimic that change. So there's nothing that I've done so far which is super technical or really challenging. I'm literally just going as intuitively as I can and really feeling into the sound, and most importantly I'm listening as well. I'm just really connecting with the guitar, which is going to support my vocalizations. So then I might want to start working on a little bit of a vocal idea or pattern, and I can do that by keeping this going so that I don't have to think too much about that. That's just happening, and I'm shifting between those two bass notes there. And then I can start to really explore a little bit with my voice. And I'm just going to give myself the space to let some melodic ideas come through. And I'm not thinking too much about this. I'm not defining the kind of song it's going to be or the style of singing. You might want to do that on paper. You might want to kind of plan that out or brainstorm some ideas, but when you have the instrument as your tool to hand, you can kind of just go with the sounds and the feelings and the impulses that you have, and trust that you will find the next point to which you need to get to. And it sort of takes away that like pressurized idea of, oh, it needs to be correct, it needs to be in a certain way, or, you know, try not to set yourself too many limitations, and just tune in to the sound that you want to make. So you might be able to hear that the voice is in fact following a kind of pattern and a quality structurally to mimic what's going on with the guitar, and that's a really useful place to start to give you some stability and some confidence about, I am home, home, home. This is like your base. You're setting yourself a solid sonic foundation from which you can start to deviate from once you feel comfortable and you're waiting for some inspiration or an idea to come through, either lyrically or melodically. And as I'm becoming a little bit more confident in what my voice is doing, the guitar and my strumming pattern naturally wants to accommodate my phrasing. So I might slow or I might speed up a little, and you want there to be an ongoing dialogue between your instrument and your instrument. So as an exercise just to play with and enjoy, really don't feel that you need to be sitting there with a metronome timer on and everything must be to the point. If that's the kind of track or song that you want to compose, or that gives you a little bit of a kickstart for rhythmic ideas, then by all means do that. But you don't have to. So I might start to vary the pattern, just adding an extra note. Striking the guitar in a slightly different way. So that's almost like a variation on the first idea. So that might suit another part of the song or a later stage in the song where the ideas are a bit more developed. So let's begin to marry some sounds with words, with lyrics, assuming that you've found a beginning or a flow with a melodic idea. Not that you have to have a full song melody in your head before you begin constructing lyrics, rather that you've got something to launch you off, and once you introduce words into that space, you will find that the words actually inspire the development of your melodic idea and might dictate the direction in which you go. So it's about having all these different tools at your fingertips and utilizing them when you feel like, okay, I've been going so far in this direction and I don't feel like I'm getting any further with that. It's time to now add something else into the mix or change my approach. And at that point, you're going to be led in a new direction or a little bit further down the line. So let me just give you an example of progressing into a free improvisation and bringing some lyrics. And if I am stuck for lyrics, then I can draw an inspiration from the space, from what I'm doing, and based on how I'm feeling. So continuing with that theme of internal listening as your inspired creative space. mossy stairs, oh, to the land of dreaming, where all shines with a light that is green and feeling. So let's unpack quickly what I did there. I literally turned around and looked at my case because I was like, okay, I need something to get me going. Not exactly sure what the feeling or the idea is going to be. And then the inside of my case is dark green. And I remember when I got this guitar and looked at that case, I kind of thought, oh, it's this amazing mossy like colour, and I thought a good name for the guitar is Green Goddess. So I suppose, yeah, that was like a trigger for an idea or a feeling, and then I started to play around with different intensities in the quality of my playing, and then I started to introduce some different rhythmic ideas as well. So nothing that I did there with regards to the playing side of the things was particularly technical or complex. I was kind of just feeling my way into it, and I wanted to have this idea of energy building and going on some kind of a journey. So the lyrics were kind of reflecting what was going on with the guitar, I suppose, and there was a bit of a dialogue happening that I was aware of between the story unfolding and the way that I was playing, and then I decided to bring that to a close. So I just wanted to share with you one of my processes for using improvisation as a tool, and it's one of my favourite ways. It's now mostly the only way that I compose, just because it's really fun, and it gives me the opportunity to capture moments and periods of time and qualities and feelings that are going on, and obviously they come, they go, they pass, and then something else is there. So that is the beauty of it, and I hope that some of this has been insightful for you, that maybe there are some tools and techniques that you can take away from this and apply to your own creative practice. And I would be really delighted to hear from you if any of this resonated, if you found it useful, or if you have any creations to share, then I would be really, really keen to hear them as well. So please don't hesitate to drop me an email and send me a message. And yeah, happy composing and creating and improvising.